This video, I'm going to show you Thought Forms 201. This is a more advanced look at the hidden vibration of thoughts. I'm going to show you that, and I'm going to show you how to align your thoughts so that they have more power than ever before. And I think that this video will change your life. Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron, and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you a more advanced look at the hidden vibration of your own thoughts. Now, this to me has been a game changer in my own life because I'm starting to see the world in a different way. I'm starting to see that thoughts literally are things. They don't become things. I mean, in a way they become more solid. But what I'm realizing is that thoughts are literally things that may be invisible to our eyes, but nonetheless have a form of influence, whether we are aware of it or not. Now, in case you haven't seen it already, I'm going to link below the Thought Form 101 video, which is where I introduce this idea. And it has to do with understanding that our thoughts are things, that there are thought forms when we think that go into our energetic field. And when we are focused on a certain type of outcome, those thought forms get emitted out of us and literally go out. And they will remain with wherever you are. So for example, if I'm on one side of my house over there, thinking about something specifically, what will happen is I may leave that part of the house, think of something different, go back to that part of the house, and then find myself thinking of the same things again. Because these thought forms, while they're invisible to the eye, are actually there. Now, this comes from a book that's actually called Thought Forms. It was written in the early 1900s. So it's an old school book, you could say. And it was very synchronistic on how I came across the author and the kind of esoteric books that it are. Especially 1900s, these books were really esoteric. And I talk about that though in the first section, the part one of this, or the Thought Form 101 video. So the part that I really want to share is the hidden vibration of thoughts. Now, the reason being is, have you ever felt like maybe you were focused on thinking about something specifically? Maybe you were like, I want to attract money into my life. You thought about money, you thought about money, you thought about money, and it didn't come into your life. Well, one of the reasons could be is because when you learn what I'm going to share with you in today's video, could be the quality of the thoughts you are having were of a lower vibrational nature compared to the high vibrational thoughts that you can be having as well. And because of that, the thoughts wouldn't and couldn't actually become more visible to you. You know, Bashar's talked about this before as well. He says manifestation is not about bringing something outside of you into your life. Manifestation is about making the invisible visible. Manifestation is about making the invisible visible, because these thought forms that we're thinking, we're creating and leaving a trail of our thought forms wherever we go, whether we're aware of it or not. Now, the key to this is being aware of it, and being aware that the more we raise our vibration, the easier this process is, and especially when we're more in alignment with our true purpose in life, with what we're meant to be doing. Now, let's give you an example of this. There's a book called Autobiography of a Yogi by Paramahansa Yogananda. There's material in there that shows that this is something as well. And this is also written back in the early 1900s, like 1930s, I believe, was Autobiography of a Yogi, which is one of the most popular self-help books of all time, spirituality books of all time. It's the one book that Steve Jobs had in his iPad. It's the book that he read every year the last 40 years of his life. And it's a very powerful book. And in it, Paramahansa Yogananda explains his process of going through enlightenment by telling stories from his own life. And there were some gurus, some enlightened people that could do amazing things, and things that we would consider to be magic. One of them was an enlightened guru told Paramahansa Yogananda's mom that she would go home and meditate, and in meditation to put her hands like this, and that then a locket would appear, and it did. And it's funny because it said an astrally formed locket, which I found very interesting, because part of thought form is thought forms is understanding that there's this astral realm that is overlaying our realm, and every night you go to bed, you go into what is called the astral realm. And some people in meditation can do astral projection consciously. And what happens is in this astral realm, we have an ability and more flexibility through time and space. Now, this astral realm is overlaying our reality. And what happens is when you think thoughts, these thoughts are literally things that you don't see with your physical eyes. Some people can that are clairvoyant, but the idea is that these thought forms have a certain frequency, they have a certain intention, they have a certain quality. Now, in the book Autobiography of a Yogi, there was the experience of manifesting the locket, an astrally formed piece of jewelry is what it talked about in the book, which is interesting because it's like the astral formed, it's astrally created from thought, and it literally becomes things. I also believe that we're moving through a powerful transition of shift in consciousness in life right now, and we're going through this as a society. We're moving into what is called a fourth density state of consciousness, and in 4D, thoughts literally are things. So this is something that we're becoming aware of as well as we go through this transition. As our vibration increases, this happens more and more. Now, why could, in like the book Autobiography of a Yogi, somebody that was enlightened of such a high vibration, of such a recognition that they are divine source energy, which by the way, you are as well, how come they could embody such a high frequency and then say something and then it happens? Think something and then there it is. There was one story of Paramahansa Yogananda, his guru, Sri Yukteswar, I can never really say the name right, and there was this moment where they were at his ashram, or I don't know if it's an ashram or it was his hermitage. And what happens is they decide that they're going to go for a walk to the beach. Now what happens is they leave, and Paramahansa Yogananda and Sri Yukteswar are walking, and Sri Yukteswar says, Paramahansa Yogananda, which it wasn't, he actually went by something else. Did you lock the back door? And he goes, I'm not sure. I think I did. And Sri Yukteswar goes, no, you didn't. And what he did is he had and somehow influenced somebody, a peasant close by, to go into the house. And he said, your 4 cauliflower will now be 3, or 5 cauliflower will now be 4. Because what happened is somebody gifted Paramahansa Yogananda 4 amazing cauliflower that he was going to make into a soup later, and he left it on his bed. I don't know why you leave cauliflower on your bed, but for some reason maybe you do. And what happened is this peasant went into the back door or the house, grabbed only 1 cauliflower, left the gold, left the jewelry, left everything else, and when they got back, Paramahansa Yogananda was surprised to find that the guy only took 1 cauliflower. Now, how did that happen? Well, in the book, what it says is that thoughts are different frequencies, and that if you tune yourself, they're like a radio dial, and if you tune yourself to different frequencies, you can have an influence over these type of things. Now, the reason I share this story, the cauliflower story, is just so you see that things are much more flexible than you think. And for this in general, when we talk about thought forms, there's 3 different aspects of this I want to show you. 1, 2, 3. So, 3 different forms, 3 different qualities or aspects of the thought form. Now, the first one is the quality. The quality of your thought forms determines the color. Now, the idea behind this is that there are different colors, just like we all have different color auras. There's an energetic field that goes around our body, whether we're aware of it or not. And the idea is that if, for example, the colors are just symbols that we use in our reality. The color just, it proves and shows the quality of the thought. You don't need to know what color your aura is or what color the thoughts you have are. The idea is, for example, the quality of your thought. If you have a thought that I want to add value to people, I want to be compassionate and express compassion to other people, that is a higher quality thought than if you're like, I want to take from people and I want to just add value to me. It's more ego driven. Which color or which quality do you think is a higher vibration? Well, the one where you're giving value. If I said I wanted to become big on YouTube because it will make me feel more worthy and it'll give me more recognition and I'll feel more whole and complete, that's a much less quality. That's maybe if you look at those different colors, there could be the colors of, let's say, a brownish red. And that was my intention. That was the color, the quality of that thought. Or let's say I had a higher vision, which I do, and it's to add value to people. Understand that we're all connected. We're all one. The more value I put out into the world, the more comes back to me anyways. But knowing the more people that wake up, the easier this transformation into consciousness is that we're going through. We're also part of the whole. So that energy is a much higher quality. That might be I don't know what color. It could be like a bluish or a greenish color, which is a much higher vibration than that orangey red color the brownish red color that's more on just gratifying the ego. So the quality of your thoughts also determine the color, and the color then will have a different frequency. So this is the first part of thought. So this is also like saying it's not just the thought you're thinking, but it's the emotion behind the thought. Is it a high vibrational emotion or a low vibrational emotion? And you've seen me share the scale of consciousness before. Now, the second part of this is understanding the nature of the thought. The nature of the thought. Now, the nature of the thought has to do with, is this a thought, the way that I think about this as well, is it a thought that is expansive? Because if an expansive thought, then think about it. You think this thought, which has a thought form that goes around your energetic field, and is the nature of the thought that it adds value? Is it an expansive thought or is it a contractive thought? It's similar in a way, but the quality is more about the vibration under it, the intention under it, and the emotion under it, whereas the nature is just, is it a thought that adds value? Is it a thought that is expansive? These thoughts correlate with other thoughts that are similar to it. This is why if you feel negative emotion when you are driving, you get mad someone cuts you off, there are other people that have been on that same street that have also cut people off before, that have got angry about it, or that have been cut off before and got angry about it. The nature of that thought is that it might also link to it other thoughts that are similar. So be aware of this energy accumulation as you're walking around, because in the location that we live, it took me like a month for me to clear out this house. I talked about that in the last video. It took me about a month to clear out this house from the old people that used to, the older people that lived here. I had to clear out their energy. It took about a month, but I had to put in my thoughts. I had to do videos on this side of the house, and once I got comfortable, it was just easier and easier for me to have this cultivated environment. Now, the third part of this is, I think, I'm going to share with you a 3-step process too. I didn't think I was going to share it in this video, but I am. Definiteness. Now, the definiteness of thought. So, for example, if you are being very specific, that carries with it a certain level of sharpness, a certain level of formality. Like, for example, the more consistently you are focused on a certain vision, a certain definiteness of thought, the more likely it is to build momentum. But if, for example, if I were to say, I'm going to go full-time on YouTube, and I made one video, and then I made 3 weeks later, I made another video, I didn't focus on it that much. Just focused on it once or twice, but the idea is that by me going daily on YouTube, it allowed me to give something to focus on consistently. And then I had a clear vision. The vision was to have a certain amount of growth on YouTube. So there was an actual number to that. It was 100,000 in the beginning, because that to me was a symbol that then there's a way for me to go full-time doing what I love. So I had that vision, and every video I would make would be to add value to people, but it would be as a background. There was a part of it that was like, yes, the more that I have time to myself that I could just make these videos, the better. Because when I first started on YouTube, I was working a 9-to-5 job and making daily videos on YouTube. I was very busy. But the definiteness is the vision you have. The more consistently you are able to focus on a vision, the more momentum you add to it, the more probability it has to manifest. You see, the idea behind this is that the less you focus on something, like attention is what builds anything in your reality. The more you put attention on something happening, the more that grows as according to the quality you have underneath that intention. If it's a high vibrational intention, it goes out and it's something that's very expansive. If it's a low vibrational intention, it carries with the resistance, and you'll also not enjoy the process along the way. But if you want to starve some type of manifestation from happening, maybe a negative manifestation, don't pay attention to it. Complete the past so you don't have to repeat it. Don't pay attention to it in the sense of don't continuously keep thinking about it repetitively over and over and over again. If you were to draw your attention away from it, the thought forms would eventually die. They say this in that book, Thought Form. They say, if I were to send, let's say I were to send a feeling of love towards somebody, and I send that feeling of love, and it's going out in time and space towards that person. Well, the more love I'd send, the more momentum, and the more, especially if it's a high quality, which means it's love, so it is a high vibration, and it goes out. Now what happens is that if I stop feeling that love, if I stop thinking about that love, then what happens is that thought form will chill, be around other nature of thoughts. It could develop, they talk about it in the book, like we all have a mental body. We all have a physical body, an astral body, and a mental body that's around our energy field. What happens is there's other people on the world that have this mental energy body. And what happens is these thought forms go out, and if it resonates with somebody, then it could be allowed into their energy field and they could absorb it as their own, which could be a positive thing if it's a high vibrational energy. Now, on the other side of that though, it shows in that book Thought Form, it shows the different vibrational, it shows like pictures of the different thoughts. And if someone's jealous, it throws out this dagger, this negative vibration. And people are doing that whether they're aware of it or not, if they're feeling jealous or angry at somebody. So the key to this is being aware of it, and then the key is understanding that these different emotions have different types of thought forms, and if you stop paying attention to it, that's when the thought eventually falls to pieces. Now here's something else I'll say. You might be saying, oh, so if people said energy to me, it's going to affect me. The idea is it can only affect you if you are of a similar vibration. It can only affect you if you aren't, if you have a jumbled up vibration, then it can affect you. Because it means there's something activated within you. But if you raise your vibrational frequency, if you raise your vibration and you are of love and light, it can't actually penetrate you, not your energy field. That's why the biggest form, they talk about this in the books, The Law of One as well, which I have on the table over there. The biggest form of protection is unconditional love. Because when you feel love and you don't label things as negative and all these things, then it doesn't affect you as much, especially when you're existing in that love frequency no matter what. So here's this little 3-step formula I want to share with you real quick. It is quality, intensity, consistency. Quality, intensity, consistency. The quality of the thoughts you have, with them adding value to other people, with having a high vibration underneath it, carries with it a level of high vibration. Then the intensity of the thought you're thinking, which means the intensity of the emotion, focus on gratitude, focus on high vibrational emotions, plus the consistency of those thoughts, create the reality you want. That was a little 3-step thing that kind of broke down as my way of understanding all this. The quality plus the intensity, plus the consistency. So maybe I can make a whole video about that. If you want me to make a whole video about that, let me know. Go and smash that like button. Let me know and I will make a whole video. Whoops, I dropped it. Whoop. So let me know. I will make a whole entire video on the quality, the intensity, the consistency, and show you how to apply it. Plus there's some other parts I wanted to talk about. Like I said, I think this is serious. Let me know if you want me to do a Thought Form 301. Even more advanced. But the idea is that the hidden vibration of thoughts is that everything around us is carrying with us a certain vibration. I consistently make videos in this spot in my house for a reason, because there's a certain energy here of me bringing through higher vibrational energy and sharing these ideas with you. And what happens is it makes it easier and easier that when I hop into this space, one, I'm actually primed to get into this state, but also these thought forms are all around me right now of positivity, of adding value, and that's why it makes it easy for me to do this. Now, I'm literally emitting out this vibration. It's going into all the objects around me. It's going into this camera. There's a vibration behind this camera that has been influenced by me consistently looking to this camera for 20 minutes a day for over a year now. The same thing with this easel. This easel is here with me. It's absorbing the energy that I am emitting right now. And this is why some people, you can emit some type of jewelry. I wear this little jewelry thing right here that has moldavite on it. It has, I put this little floss around it because it was clinking so much when I was making videos. It has this little Tesla plate on it. I wear it, I like it, but it has my energy imbued in it. Now, the idea is that these things carry with it a certain vibration. The hidden vibration of thought is that people don't understand that everything has thought imbued into it, has energy imbued into it. From the collective consciousness, there's thought forms around your city, around, I remember when the Golden Knights here in Las Vegas were first starting to come up and they went to the finals a couple years ago. Such a huge buzz. You couldn't help it but want to watch the games. You could feel that energy. It's influencing us whether we're aware of it or not. The country you live in has a certain level of social conditioning. These thought forms are everywhere, and depending on where you go, when I go to LA in a couple days, there's going to be a bombardment of so much energy in the city while I'm there that it's going to, sometimes for me after a week or two, it gets overwhelming. However, I'll go to Sedona next week, a week, like right after I come back, I go to Sedona, which has a very high vibration. There's so many people that go to Sedona that think, wow, amazing, this place is amazing, putting out positive thought forms. There's also a lot of higher vibrational activity there in different ways and different levels. So it's a high vibrational place. It's like that everywhere you go, whether you're aware of it or not. The key is being aware of the quality, the nature, and the definiteness. Those are the three things that show the quality of the thoughts. And if you're finding that your thoughts aren't creating your reality, focus instead on raising your vibration. Raising your vibrational level of consciousness. If you haven't seen already, I have that of a meditation for raising your vibrational set point. Let's do it for 21 days. I think it'll change your life. I'll go ahead and put that in the description box as well. That will help you to do so. Like I said, like this video if you want more on thought form type videos. If so, I'll keep the series going. And comment below and let me know what you think about it. So with that being said, hope you enjoyed this video. Peace, much love, and namaste.